I've been thinking quite a lot lately our relationship with the unconscious. Now, as of what I understood, and this is just a concept to understand, the fundamental components of the universe, which consist of the unconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious. For there to be able to be life, the universe has to split into these three. For the consciousness to be able to become aware of itself, there has to be a veiled unconscious aspect to it, as that unconscious collects itself and stores what it is conscious of into the subconscious. So just to bring this back to the human experience and how I've found how that is reflected in the way that we operate in this life. When we live more up in our minds, there's not much to become aware of, thus we don't expand in our consciousness, because the expansion of our consciousness happens when we become aware of something that we don't usually are aware of, right? So we are driven and living more in the state of repetitiveness. I'm just pinpointing the observation that I have within myself and of other humans. And the thing that we call happiness, long-lasting happiness, true ecstasy, not the short-term pleasures, is when we are confronted with the unconscious. And I will get to you in a second where that happens in our body. Imagine a person doing the same routine, living in this small circle of the things that he has gathered to know, not knowing and not being aware because of the state of unawareness that it has become comfortable living in that which he has become conscious of in the mind. The person is living in the mind. The person is unable to see the bigger circle outside of that small diagram, that small circle that he has now lived in and become aware of. So for me, for example, I skateboarded for 12 years. I felt like I've mastered skateboarding. Now, of course, skateboarding is limitless and I don't know where it stops, But for me, I've gathered enough experience and perspectives of that world and how I maneuver with my physical body doing those things. And I felt that I needed to move on more into an art where I can grab more aspects of the universe and express that through my physical body, So in the end, I have observed that there are different stages to awareness and consciousness, and there are different stages that our soul goes through, and we all have our own unique path. We all have our own unique time and experience, That's why we can't ever compare our lives and judge other people where they are in their path, because there just simply are levels to this game. And what I want to just connect this to, the analogy that I want to connect it to, is the mind and the heart. So the mind is this which is connected to the higher dimensions. The thoughts are the only things that we don't bump into in this life. All the rest we can just bump into. We have this body and it bumps into all these things, right? But the interesting thing about thoughts is that we experience them almost just as vividly as we do how we bump into these things. It's just, and why I mean we can just experience it just as vividly is because our thoughts, they capture our consciousness and this conscious part of us just as much as I feel the vivid experience is of the three-dimensional world. That's why we can be so caught up in our head, unaware of actually everything that is happening in the deeper fundamental energetical aspects of our human body. Like there are so many energetic accumulative points, which Indian philosophy is called chakras, and now in the Western world we are also calling it, in human design we call it, can't find a word, like energetical places. Anyway, something like that. I will edit it in the video. This is what we all want. We want to progress in our life. We want to expand. We want to become this more aware happy person in the present moment. We want this everlasting happiness, and that's what we're all chasing in this human experience. We are learning through these non-duality teachings the core of where progression comes from. And I found that we don't progress in our physical life once we are up in our thoughts, once we are flying in these higher dimensions. And these higher dimensions, again, I've learned that they're not here, they're not higher than us, like it's just a frequency and it's a vibration. Actually, when we do this, because we are talking from human experience, that we think that the heavens and whatever higher stuff is here above us, and I don't want to disagree that there's a vertical axis and a horizontal axis, the vertical containing the higher self. However, I found that my experience in the universe, and we talk as if the three-dimensional world is outside of us, and it is projected outside of our body. We are perceiving the three-dimensional world as if it's separate, like as if it's so different than from who we are, because of the structure, because of how everything is so compact. It just looks so separate. Thus we create these ideas from our imagination that the higher self must be from a very big distance above us, right? These higher dimensions, these different dimensions, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, etc., they're all within us, and we have the ability to tune into these different vibrations. Now, the fifth dimension, the higher self, the all-knowing, the fifth dimension is a place where you know everything. And it's connected to our mind, because our mind is infinite, and that's the beauty. I must say that we have come here to become aware of this three-dimensional experience, how to work with energy. And we don't progress once we are shooting up in this all-knowing all the time, because what there is to know is down here in this three-dimensional experience. The dog is now entering my little room. I feel to truly live in harmony with all that is right now, to learn and to experience, and to really feel that you are participating in this world, that you are co-creating with different life forces, with different souls, is when we travel this short distance between our mind and our heart. Because the heart is the core of the unconscious. The heart is always open to explore the unconscious of life. I invite you to take a deep breath and truly come back to your heart and witness how unconscious it is to everything. The mind knows. The mind is continuously conceptualizing everything, trying to identify it through the lens of what it already knows. However, the heart is here to gather new perspectives and to feel and to truly experience the unconscious of life itself. The heart is here to truly become participated in this present moment. And the present moment is so infinite, and the present moment is trying to teach us so much all the time. All these teachers are trying to teach us to come back and travel this distance from our mind to our hearts, and to live more heart-centered, to live more open to what is, And this just came in my mind, like this connects to everything. How willing you are to explore your partner, how willing you are to truly feel and to get to know this other person. Love, I feel, between one another is how well and how open, how willing are you there to get to know the other person. And the same goes to everything. If you want to connect with animals, how willing are you there to come back to the innocence of who you are? And the innocence is not knowing. The innocence is the openness to learn and to expand. And I heard this from my own mom and from other people. Oh, I'm already too old, to learn these things. You are still young. You can still, my mom told me this yesterday. You can still learn all these things. I'm stepping into architecture and engineering now. To live a life of meaning is to have a story. And the story comes from our encounter with the unconscious. So for me, I don't know anything about architecture and engineering. However, my heart and my nudges, it's so exciting, and there's so much unconsciousness in these aspects that I'm trying to learn that really feed me and allow me to expand. And this is just what I wanted to share with you today. Travel this short distance from the mind to the heart. Come to the heart. The heart gives you these nudges of what it's interested in, and it might seem so uncertain. And this road is not an easy one. However, this is the road. Our heart paves our story. We are here to create our own reality. But it happens when we dare to come back to our hearts and explore this unconsciousness. The unconsciousness is here also to teach us that which we want to become conscious of. And that which we want to conscious of is what gives us the happiness. We are here continuously to expand. Happiness truly lies in the present moment, and truly experience how unconscious you really are of everything that is this third dimensional world. You will feel the vast depth and the infinite vastness of that which there is to explore in this present moment. You can feel it once you come back into your body. You are then there to see the unconsciousness, everything for what it is, and you are there to see what it is. You know? So I think that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I managed to connect some dots here.